they do a great job. I like to kid them about that. But anyway, it's good to see you guys here tonight. We're going to go ahead and get started and give Bob as much time as he needs. We were telling him it's foot washing night here at Springdale, so we'll have to take time. And also, we're not going to bring the snakes out tonight. Hey, Linda Martin did a paper when she was in college on snake handlers, and her and a friend actually went to a snake handling church up in somewhere, probably Sneedville, or maybe Bristol or Johnson City. But anyway, they went and they didn't bring the snakes out that night. So they had them though. Do what? Oh, in Cosby. Okay, yeah, down there. Yeah, I know where you're talking about. My doctor, Dr. Parenthian, I asked her where she was raised, and she said, "You won't believe it." Did any of you ever see the movie Deliverance? She said, "I was raised up in those mountains where they made Deliverance." I said, "You are kidding me, aren't you?" She said, "No, I'm not kidding you." She said, "That's where I was raised, born and raised there." So anyway, everybody's got to be born somewhere, don't they? All right. It's just a couple of things I want to mention. I do want to mention that we continue to remember Charlie Burke, and of course his brother passed away unexpectedly. And Charlie, have they got anything yet? They still haven't got anything planned, what they're going to be doing, if they're having a funeral or graveside or a private funeral, or what they're going to have. But pray for Charlie. He's had some tough hits here lately. He lost his wife a little over a week back, and then his youngest brother. And he's just had a tough time of it. And plus, he's been taking cancer treatments on top of it. So if you get to feeling sorry for yourself, just pray for Charlie, okay? Because he's really been going through a lot. I'm glad to have Bob here tonight, Bob Seymour. I've only met him one time, and it was a joy to meet him. I really enjoyed getting to know him a little bit, and don't know him too well. But Todd and Ray Roten, they are familiar with him because their sons went through the program. I wanted him to come and share with us tonight what they do at Bible Study 2. I think it's a wonderful work and an extremely needed work. If you see what's going on in our schools today, and you see what they do in order to try to rescue as many of these young people as they can, to teach them the Bible, to teach them the Word of God, it's a very needful ministry. And I'm not going to expose too much. I'll let Bob tell you all about it because he is the founder of Bible Study 2. We look forward to what he's going to share with us this evening. So let's stand for a moment and pray, and we'll get started, okay? I appreciate y'all coming out tonight, and I'm glad you did. For the primary reason is because we have taken Bible Study 2 on this budget year as a mission, a home mission. And I think it's going to be an excellent opportunity to reach out through Bible Study 2 to young people. One of my buddies growing up, he was the meanest kid on Portland Avenue up off Bloomingdale. So I had the privilege of growing up with the prettiest little girl on Bloomingdale, Sandy Ketron, and the meanest little boy on Portland Avenue right off Bloomingdale, and that was Randy Smith. But to be honest with you, I was ashamed when it came to Randy because he was such a good person. He was really involved in church, and I pretended. But anyway, Randy has always been someone special in my life, and I'm glad that he's here tonight to hear his friend Bob, and of course his lovely wife. You back there, Deb? She's back there with Cindy. So it's good to have you guys tonight, and we look forward to what Bob has for us. So Randy, would you open in prayer for us?
Father, we come before you tonight with humble hearts. We thank you for life. We thank you for the life eternal we have. Because you still seem fit to send your son to die on Calvary.
Yes.
Lord, we pray tonight. We pray that you lead us law, that you share us with all good. We pray that you hear that one, that you lead Springdale here. We pray for your ministry. And Lord, may we always be willing to share Jesus with you. In the last name we pray.
Amen. Go ahead and be seated. Bob, come on up, pal. This is Bob Seymour, so welcome to the church.
So your pastor called me yesterday morning. Oh, it was great. Yep. And told me he'd like me to come talk about Bible study at church. Thoroughly agreed with that. He suggested maybe Sunday evening service would be the best time, and that sounded good. He asked me, kind of what my availability is on Sunday evenings, and I said it's pretty open. And he said, well, I like to get things done. How about tomorrow night? So here I am. But very glad to be here, and we just greatly appreciate this church and your support for us and your encouragement for us. We're looking forward to just a great relationship. I'd like to share with you tonight a little bit about our history, what we do and why we do it like we do. And then we'll close up. I'm trained as an engineer, so I don't babble on real long, but be glad to cover whatever we need to. So Bible Study 2 is in its 20th year. We started in June of 2005. And I'm often asked why I started Bible Study 2, and my answer all the time is I had absolutely no intention of starting anything. But let me tell you how it happened. We had a group of boys that met Wednesday evenings at Calvary Baptist, and there were four of them in particular that I thought would, really gain something from a little bit more intensive study of the Scriptures. So I suggested to them in June of 2005, how about we meet every other week during the summer? We'll do some Bible study and kind of made things a little easier for them. I told them I'd take you out to eat before each session, and that kind of that sealed the deal. But that was my plan, that we'd do this every other week through the summer when school started, mission accomplished, and they'll go back to school and we'll go back to doing whatever we were doing. Well, that was my plan for the summer of 2005. As it turned out, the Lord had a somewhat different plan for the summer of 2005 and the next 20 years at least. So what happened, these four guys came, and then they started inviting a few of their friends. And a few of their friends started inviting a few of their friends. And by the time the summer was over, we had a pretty good sized group. It took me about a year to catch on to the idea that, well, maybe there's something here that's supposed to last. And that's how we got going. Our initial purpose and focus was really on discipleship and dealing with kids, that have some Christian background and wanting to learn more. And in May of 2006, we'd been doing this now for a year. One of our guys suggested, I have this friend at school, I forget what the kid's name was, but he's an atheist, and he's pretty uninterested in anything spiritual. What do you think if we invited him to come? Well, that got us thinking in a totally different direction, a good direction. And so from that point on, rather than just focusing on basically discipleship, we got to thinking more broadly of discipleship plus evangelism. And that's where we changed the name. So a lot of people ask me, so Bible Study 2, so where does that come from? Well, when we first started out, we were sitting around with the guys trying to think of a name for this organization. And a bunch of us were coming up with some, clever names and so forth. One kid, Brandon Lawson, man, Brandon's a pretty down-to-earth fellow. We were sitting there coming up with all these crazy names, and Brandon says, well, this is a Bible study, right? Yeah. Why don't we just call it Bible study? And it was pretty hard to argue with that logic, so we did. But when we got this expanded view of what we're all about, this was kind of version 2 of Bible study, and so that's where the 2 comes on the end of Bible Study 2. It's simply, we had a bigger picture in mind than we did when we first started out. Along the way, at that time, this was entirely an organization for the guys. We had a desire way back then to eventually get an organization going for the girls as well. And in the year 2014, we were able to kick that off. And it's still going on. We lost a lot of the girls during the COVID time. They all graduated while COVID was messing us all up. But we're back in business, have been for a while. And so we have a separate girls group led by some ladies that put in a lot of time and a lot of effort into it. So 2014, we inaugurated the girls group. The next milestone, and I was discussing this with a few folks before the session started here tonight, we had a big influence of middle school boys. Now, we'd always had a few middle schoolers because big brothers would bring their little brothers. But for some reason, in 2015, a whole bunch of middle schoolers showed up, and that led us to start a separate group for middle schoolers. So that's been going on for 10 years. The middle schoolers right now, middle school boys, meet on Tuesday afternoon at our place. The girls group meets Tuesday evening at our place, and then the high school boys meet Thursday afternoon and evening. Initially, Bible Study 2 was located in 2 private homes, one of them mine and one of them Lisa's, the lady that runs the girls group. And we started in 2014 looking for a permanent location that was neither my house nor Lisa's house. And I was trying to think how many different places we thought about, actually maybe even put an offer in on. It was 2024 before we actually moved out of my house and Lisa's house. But we have a great property now. It's out off of Orbank Road, on Stage Road. 10.3 acres. It was the Charity Chapel Baptist Church, and they gave it to us. We got the entire land, buildings, everything for free. We put a lot of money into renovating the building, and we put in a basketball court, we put in a swimming pool. So we have a really great facility now for which we're extremely thankful, and it's making a big difference. It's just a much better situation, and we've got everything that we need right there. Trying to think. I think that's about it as far as our movings go. But we're very thankful for the facility that we have. Let me move on and talk a little bit about the people we serve. Since our inception in 2005, when we started with 4, a total of over 2,000 have come. And they continue to come. Every week, right now, we have between 80 and 100 people served between the girls group and the 2 boys groups. And that includes mostly students, but also some volunteers that come to provide transportation and help supervise and so forth. Roughly 2/3 of those who come do not have a church background. Sometimes they'll tell me that, well, Bible study is my church, and my answer to that is, no, it's not. Bible study has its place in the kingdom, but Bible study is not a church. And we've been putting a lot of emphasis, particularly since Cole Maupin joined us as our ministry director, on getting kids in church, and we're seeing it happen. So that's historically been a situation that most of the kids that come don't have a church background, and Bible study is really the first place and maybe the only place for a lot of them that they hear the gospel. It's a pretty diverse group, and a lot of them, a lot of kids that come from single parent families, or maybe living with their grandparents. And we try to minister to them in the best way that we can. Let me mention a few things that I think are critical about why we're successful to the extent that we are in doing what we're doing. One of them is providing just a friendly and an accepting atmosphere. We make it a point to learn every kid's name, and even if they haven't been there in a few weeks, we greet them by name. And that really makes a big difference. We also like everybody to have a good time, and we were talking about this a little bit before the service started. But I think one of the keys to Bible study, too, is people do come and they can have a good time and do within limits what they want to. So if they want to play basketball, they can do that. If they want to play football, they can do that. If they want to sit around and talk to their friends, they can do that. We pretty much leave it up to them. And the thing that draws people to Bible study, too, initially, is having a good time. I could count on one hand the number of kids that have come because they were looking for a good Bible study. In fact, I wouldn't even need all those fingers. But they come because their friends come, and their friends tell them, we have a good time. And so they come, and they do have a good time. They also get a good dose of the gospel and a good dose of spiritual teaching. And that's really the way it works. I think that for us has just been critical to promote a good time, a safe time, and a time where they know that they are accepted and that they're wanted. We make it a point when we have big groups, which we do for the high school boys, to divide up, when we come to the teaching time, divide up into smaller groups. And we've gotten back to a situation that we had back before COVID, and I'm very thankful for, of peer leadership. So on Monday nights, we have a separate session for group leaders. These are young men, high schoolers, that are learning how to teach and how to explain scriptural things. And they now are basically running our groups. We still have adult leaders who are present, just in case some big questions come up or something. But the bulk of the sharing and the teaching is now being done by high school leaders who have been trained in Bible study too and how to do this. And I think also that is a great help to the kids that are there, because they don't have some old guy like me tell them what they need to know. It's their friends, and that makes a much bigger impact. So those are the basic things that we've learned over the years. We didn't figure all that out the first day, and we're still learning. And we've got a big future ahead of us, and I don't know what it is, to tell you the truth, but let me give you a few thoughts. I was mentioning to Todd before we started that all of our kids right now come from Kingsport City Schools, but we've had a good-sized influence from Volunteer High School because some Kingsport kids moved out to transfer to Volunteer, and now they're bringing volunteer students back. So we're sending our van out to Church Hill every Thursday evening, 5 o'clock, to pick up kids from Volunteer High School, bring them about 20 miles in the other direction to where we are, and then get them back home again. And that's very encouraging to us, and it's making a big difference for the kids that are coming from Volunteer. And one of the things they see there is we're serious about this. You know, we're willing to go all the way into Hawkins County to pick them up and bring them. They know we care, and they know that this is important. So as we look forward to the next phase, I see us spreading out in terms of our influence. We're going to have to take this one step at a time. We also have a real burden for the parents of a lot of our kids. And we're working to put together a parents' Bible study time where we'll get the parents learning more and understanding more about Bible study too, and hopefully begin to change some of the atmospheres in the families that these kids live in, and expand. If the parents are understanding the gospel and the kids are, it's going to be a much different situation than just the kids and never hearing anything at home. So that's something we've been working on. We haven't got it rolling yet, but I think that's an important thing for us coming up in this next year. Longer term, we've got plenty of space right now. We're going to have to learn how to manage that as we continue to grow. And that's something, to be honest, I wouldn't even know how to prognosticate on right now. But thinking down the road, that's going to be an issue. And our immediate needs are volunteers for several things. One of them is transportation. We do a lot of picking kids up and a lot of getting kids home. And anybody that be interested in helping out, maybe coming out and picking up a few kids and take them home, we got a job for you. And also in supervision. So, when we have 50 or 60 high school guys around, we need a few people out there keeping an eye on things. So that'd be another opportunity. Anybody that want to come out and just help out, keep an eye on things, and be sure that everything's going like it ought to. So there are volunteer opportunities and volunteer needs that we'd be happy to lay in front of anybody that's interested. We can certainly talk about that. And also just encouraging high school age boys or girls, middle school kids that would like to get involved, could get involved. Please do that, because we've got a good outreach now, but everything helps. So I think that's pretty much everything that'll cover, give you a feel for how we got to where we are and what we think is important and where we're going. But let me also express, again, just how thankful we are for this church and for your concern about and helping in Bible study too, and for the mission ministries that you all take on so well. So I think that's about it. I'm not right.
I'm not finished with you yet.
You need to also tell them that you provide a meal plan.
I did miss that. Thank you. Yeah, all right. Thank you, Debbie. Yeah, this is a big deal. So in fact, when the kids start showing up, probably the first question I get from a lot of them is, what's for dinner tonight? And it's always good stuff. I mean, we don't skimp around. Let me just tell you one quick story from last Tuesday night with the middle school boys. So we had tacos. And this one kid, as we're, kind of wrapping things up, he's on the phone with his mother, taking her taco orders. And so he packed them all up. He said, well, so that, we got cheese and sour cream and blah, blah, blah. And so she told him what she wanted. He did a good job of packing it up, wrapping it all up, and took it home. So, and we were thrilled. We're always glad to help out. Thank you, Debbie. Appreciate that.
Delmar, can you turn this wireless mic on so we're going to have some questions.
Okay, good.
I need to speak into it so you know which one it is. Test. Not working. Testing. The piano mic. And I promise I'm not singing solo. Hey, the heck with it. Let me get one of these mics up here, okay? All right, see if you can get this one up and going. I can't carry this back to hear the questions, though. I'll just have to repeat them. Well, I enjoy embarrassing people like that, so. All right, first off, I want Ray Roten to come up here and briefly tell us about his son's experience. I don't care. I don't want to hear from Noah. I want to hear from Ray. I'll have Noah later. Don't worry, Noah. You're not getting away that easy. So, briefly, Ray can tell you a little bit about his experience with Bible study too and his sons.
Don't follow that. The way it started with Noah, do you remember how old you were the first time you went?
I was over the high school age.
You were in high school?
Probably early college age, honestly. Not how I was going. One of them was more high school age kids, but I was.
Come on up here, sir. I need you to get up here somewhere.
Well, he was invited by a friend of his who's also a former neighbor of ours. And, of course, I had never heard of Bible study too, had no idea what they did, what it was about or anything. And Noah would come home and he would tell me about it, what a good time, how much he enjoyed it. And and I'd ask him, what exactly did you talk about? What did you learn? And he would tell me some of the deepest theological things. It just blew my mind. I thought, they're teaching this stuff to high school kids? This is really amazing to me. So I knew right off the bat that it was a fantastic ministry that you're getting kids of that age to talk about the Bible and deep theological subjects like that. So I thought, well, this is worthwhile. This is absolutely worthwhile. Because I thought, well, there's really nothing in the churches that are doing anything even close to this. So that's why, I encouraged him to keep going. And it was the same way, every time I would talk to him about, well, what did you study this week? And he would tell me, it just blew my mind. So anyway, he stayed, I guess, until he kind of aged out of it, didn't you?
Yeah, I'd say at least 2 to 3 years max. I think.
Yeah, okay.
I heard they had to kick you out before they could finally get rid of you. I don't know if that's true.
Not really sure, but I don't think Bob would ever kick me out. But
No, that's not part of our deal. Yeah.
But anyway, is that everything you needed me to say?
Yeah, and
Okay.
I want to have, you want to just mention maybe briefly what
Just a little bit about
it did for you? No, Bob's told us about it. You
Yeah.
just tell it what you did for you.
Bible Study 2 was a great organization for me. as my dad said I'm going to go. I was invited by some friends. We were kind of on the older side, like there's a lot of high schooler kids, and then I think me and my friends had kind of just graduated whenever we were going. It was a really good experience. Like they had me going a handful of times, and they invited me, and I started going with them. And I think for my friends, had like at least 3 or 4 of us there, and I really didn't know much about it. I was kind of shy. I didn't really want to go at first, and I was invited, and I went and fell in love with it. It was a great opportunity. Met some really good people, and it was a really good fellowship. Bible study too. It's changed things for me. I learned a lot. And honestly, if anything else, like you learn real quick how ministry in Kingsport with young individuals, it's still happening today. It's still growing. There's still even a lot more to do. Ministry. Because. You think of like witnessing people at church on Sunday mornings, well, this is obviously another opportunity where you could talk to individuals that like have never even heard the gospel. So you hear things from friends beside you that might not even go to church at all. And you might have friends that go to church every Sunday right on the other side of you. And you hear all kinds of perspectives and you learn so much. You really do learn so much when you go to these events. And it was really beneficial for me, and I enjoyed every second of it.
And he's turned out to be a pretty good guy, hasn't he? By the way, he better be a good guy. He's getting ready to get hitched.
Let me add one thing, if I can, to what Noah said, and I appreciate all your comments, Noah. Our typical discussion sessions last at least an hour and a quarter sometime. When he mentioned the depth and so on. We make a point at that. It's not just a 10 or 15 minute kind of schmooze over something in the Bible. We really want to get down to where people understand what the real issues are and what they need to deal with. So I appreciate your mentioning that.
All right. I want all the teenagers here at Springdale to stand up. Stand up, Caroline. This shows you a need to get some of these young people. We've got a few that aren't here tonight that should be. I tried to encourage them to come because I think each of their situations would be absolutely improved if they got involved with Bible study too. Bible study too is doing things that the church hadn't got, well, you got the ability to do it, but what I'd like to do is get somebody to coordinate here and tell our young people about it. They have transportation. So, Bob, I'm going to let you, it's mostly voluntary, isn't it? Mm-hmm. And right here is somebody that's been doing it for years, Randy.
Yes, he has.
He said since he retired. Now, I know you retired folks have a whole lot going on, don't have much time on your hands. But anyway, Randy, won't you share with a little bit about your transporting these students?
This has been on my bucket list. Stand up in the pulpit with Alan Buckles.
There you go, man. I'll tell you back when we were out at Fellowship Free Will Baptist Church, we didn't think this would ever take place.
No, we did not.
I mean, this wasn't even in the stars, believe me.
So you can look the way I'm dressed. Bob worked at Eastman, I worked at the Brickyard. So here we go. When you take these kids home, you hear things that you cannot believe. Seriously, you'll hear, well, my old man got out of jail last week. Or, can I take this dozen donuts? We don't have anything to eat. Can you do this? You hear things. Now, listen, I was raised very conservative, like Alan said, it will blow your mind. Nobody lives with their mom and dad. There's grandparents raising kids, as Bob said. There's great-grandparents raising kids. Because they have nowhere else to go. You have to admire them. But I wouldn't want to work. I mean, I'd go crazy. I'll just admit it. you just don't have the patience used. This guy right here has got more patience than any man I've ever met. He, and I've known him slightly longer than Alan, probably 50-some years. He actually was in her son and daughter-in-law's wedding. So you can, and Matthew's 50-year-old, and they've been married 30 years, so there you go. But you just hear so many things that you just don't. The boys come in, they really have a good time within reason. They are rules, you know. Language, certain language is not tolerated. A lot of things are not tolerated. You have to always be respectful of others. Is it perfect? No, it's not. Neither are churches perfect. But most of these, at one time there used to be I think Bob will agree, we had we had kids who came from this type of income, and we had a mixture, and now pretty much it's the lower end, isn't it?
By and large, yeah.
On ours. There's enough that come from Cloud Apartments to take a van out there every time. So it really works. I have seen it work. I have testimonies of boys who have gone through it that will tell you they would be in prison today if it had not been for Bible study. And one of them today is a Delta airline pilot. So what's that tell you? It's not a complicated process, but it does take a lot of work. It really does. And Bob does all the cooking. He won't tell you all this stuff he does, but I will. But he does all the cooking, and it's good. I have ate it. And
It's arrived.
it's arrived. And, but it is, I can't tell you how, I personally think it's the most effective ministry in the Tri-Cities, bar none. Yeah, for teenagers. I really do. It's, you know, it's consistent, and Cole's come on, and he's added some youth to the picture, which I think has improved some things.
Oh, yeah.
He has a lot more energy than me and Bob, but it's, I still think it's the most effective ministry in the Tri-Cities for teenagers. And the girls group just keeps growing. But
We've got some girls in our church that might be interested, but we're going to have to probably give them some encouragement.
well, they can drop them off if they just want to.
Yeah, you don't have to be transported. You can be dropped off if you don't have transportation. Let me see. Colton, Todd's and Cindy's son, he went through the program. And I love to sit down and talk with Colt because he is so well-versed and studied in the Bible. And it's more like talking to a theologian than it is just somebody that hasn't had any. And Todd has something to say briefly.
And that's all I got to say about that. What time do you normally finish up, usually when you're starting to take people home?
8:15, something like that.
Yeah. So my first experience with Bible studies when Colton was involved in it, and I would normally be the one that would pick him up. And I'd be working all day, and I'd be standing all day, and I'd be tired at the end of the day. And I didn't understand what Bible study 2 was. So when I would come to pick him up, I was just ready to go to bed. So I'd sit out there in the car and just wait and wait and wait and start to get a little bit upset. So I called him. And he said, "What do you want, Dad?" I said, "Well, what time y'all going to finish this up?" He said, "Well, here in just a minute." He said, what is it? I said, "I got to go work tomorrow." He said, "Dad," he said, "we got a kid getting ready to make a decision here." I said, "Oh." Suddenly it got important, and I became quite secondary. So there's that, okay? So this is real stuff. This is actually going on. And the other thing, too, is not only has the work that God has done through Bob and the organization affected countless kids, 2,000 now, it's affected me. Had God not worked through Bob, Bob was feeding me information and literature that he was using with these kids. It's because of that I'm with you here now. I'm convinced of that. God has used this man in my life, and it has made a difference. So this is an important ministry. I've seen it work. It's a wonderful discipling ministry, and I think it's what God intended. These kids are spending time in the Word. They're led by mentorship and discipling. They're learning a lesson. They're sharing it with kids. And these younger kids are seeing these older kids doing this, and they think, I'd like to do this. I've taken these kids home. I've heard these conversations too. And one comes to mind. He said, I would like to be a leader sometime. And this kid was in the 8th grade at the time. He did eventually become a leader. And he's graduated from the program. So this is worth our time. This is worth our money. And I would seriously consider pondering, especially if you're in retirement, what you can do to help. And I would love to hear, if there's anything else that Bob would need that we could hear, and maybe we could be a help to this ministry. Was that short enough?
Yeah, and since you came up, I'm going to volunteer you to be the nucleus here to receive information about Bible study too, to encourage kids that might not come to church very often. We're like every other church. It's extremely difficult to get young people in church. Where's Michelle? Michelle Cole, bless her heart, she studies and usually teaches 2 people once a week in our youth study. And she's remained faithful to that. Wouldn't it be something if they would go and learn more and become hungrier for the things of God? And that sounds like what Bible Study 2 does. It causes these young people to examine, to understand, taught in a proper perspective. One of the greatest problems we have in church today is a lack of biblical knowledge, real biblical knowledge, true doctrine, what the Bible truly teaches, not what Grandpa said. And that's done by our teachers here. But wouldn't it be wonderful if we could get some of them involved in the Bible study? The young people can do what a lot of us can't do. They can encourage one another to come. And another person that went through the Bible study was Nick. Judy or Don, you want to just mention how Nick did? Well, he'd have to walk out to Ore Bank now, so.
Yep, I remember Nick.
I think Nick was another one you had to pretty much kick out, wasn't it? He got too old.
No comment.
He's never kicked anybody out, by the way. It's just you reach a certain age, it's time to move on.
It definitely is.
I will say that I told him that it was going to be here tonight. He said, Nana, that is the kindest, most loving man I've ever known in my life.
Yeah, I agree. Randy is one of the. No, when I met Bob, he did exude the Spirit of God. You kind of meet people, and a lot of times when you meet them, your spirit almost immediately bonds with them if you're on the same page. And I felt that way when I met you, Bob.
Bob he is the most sincere Christian that I know. And he makes every boy that comes through the door feel cared for and loved in a way that they may have never experienced before. He cares for them. He will do anything for any of those boys. He would never tell you that he does. And it's very encouraging.
Yeah. Well, as you can see, we don't have too many teenagers, not too many adults come Sunday evenings, unfortunately. But we got a lot of, we've got some teenagers that are involved in our church that need to grow. They need to move forward with their walk with Christ. So I know Caroline is a real inspiration. She loves the Lord. She attends regular, and she also has a concern for her friends that are teens in the church. So maybe you can encourage them, and at some point, talk them into going out to visit Bible. And once they get involved with that, it might lead to other things. Let me see. I think I mentioned everybody that's been through the program. Todd, what I was talking about, we need somebody that people can go to. And if they want to get involved, if they want to send their kid, if they want their kid to go, to get the what needs to be done in order to take care of that.
You know, just a thought here, if I'm going to be that person.
Oh, hey, listen, I already volunteered you. All in favor say aye. Aye, okay. You're done.
Mentioned to Bob that it might be good to possibly come back, you know, when we got our more young people here, when we got our parents here.
Yeah.
And have this conversation. It's one thing to hear from us, but to hear, you know, directly from the individual that's directly involved with Brandon. And anybody else on the board or whatever that you feel like would be important to put that message out so that we have a better understanding of what this organization can do.
Well, one of the problems with not having a lot of young people come out is their parents won't come out. Some of the parents attend here sparingly. Some of them don't attend church anywhere at all. And that's unfortunate, but that's what we see today in this world that we live in. But I think our church made a great decision in voting for our budget this year, $3,000 for the work at Bible Study 2. $3,000 that they're going to get this year to take care of many of their needs and everything. So I'm so glad that we are very involved in all sorts of missions now. Most of the missions are independent from the SBC. As a matter of fact, all of them are. We support Virgin Island Missions, which supports many churches down in the islands. Bentley Thomas is the president of VIM. And then we have David Morris, who preaches all over the country and preaches what we believe as a church and as a gospel. And he's supported by us. And then, of course, our Jewish friends, Deborah, and they're going through it right now. They need prayers. We're pleased to be able to support them. And we were glad to take on Bible Study 2 this year also as a mission.
Well, thank you.
And anyway, I think as we're able to bless others, God will continue to bless us. If you're like some of these stingy churches, don't want to get to be totally inward and only spend money inwardly, you're never going to succeed in the body of Christ to do anything of anything lasting. I don't believe. I believe it's important to support good, solid missions, and this is one of them. Do you all have any other questions?
Alan, I think another thing that our ladies could do periodically, Debbie said that they do desserts. Bob does the big meal, but ladies fix desserts and bring them.
It doesn't have to be fixed, it can just be, to be honest with you, it's something they kind of want to grab and go. I remember that
Never had one that-
They're really just something to grab and go. And that's anything else.
But it sounds to me like if you can get young people there one time, they'll want to go back. Now,
Yep.
the key is to get them there one time.
Yep.
And that's where
Good
we're
point.
at right now at our church. Anything else? Anybody else have any questions?
I've got a question about the parent ministry.
Yeah.
How far have you gotten into thinking on that, and is there anything that works immediately, or is that kind of just in the thought process now?
So Cole Maupin, who I mentioned, has been working on that, so he has a plan. We're talking to some of the parents. We were hoping to get it kicked off this month, actually. But that didn't work out just from scheduling and so on. So we're pretty much ready to go, in terms of internally.
Would you do that on site there as well at your facility?
Yeah. Yeah, we think that'd probably be the best. So, yeah, we can talk about that some more.
All right. Anybody else have any questions or thoughts?
I just want to say I'm all for it, they're the next generation. We don't know when God's coming back, when Jesus is coming back, so until then, we have to work and let the youth know what God's word is, the truth, It's just so important.
Our church, we're not an entertainment church. We don't have black lights and whistles and smoke machines. Our main focus is on preaching truth and the gospel, and that's what your organization does, and that's what made me attracted to it, was that you guys focus on the word and systematic theology, pretty much, it
Yep.
sounds like.
We're on the same page there, for sure.
Yeah, because it's important, because so few Christians have any concept of systematic theology. And it's nothing difficult, it's nothing hard, it's just knowing what the Bible teaches. Anything else? Caroline, anything you'd like to say since you're our only representative as a teenager here tonight?
Just come, I was kind of hear Michelle, she's so good. She really dedicates so much time to that, and she's so smart, and she really puts a lot of time into it. I've learned so much. She's helped me grow so much. I wouldn't be where I am without her.
Yeah, she's been faithful. Been faithful. It's a shame other kids won't come out and listen. But anything else? Shelby, you think you'd like to go to Bible study too? Oh, and wait a minute, you can't go. You're out of high school. Anything else before we close? All right, I'm going to shut up. And Bob, if you have any closing remarks, go right ahead, and we'll close with prayer, or you can close with prayer.
No, it's just been a great encouragement. I really enjoyed being here and sharing with you and hearing some of the old stories from people I haven't seen in a while. And I've mentioned this earlier, but your support and your encouragement just means a whole lot to us. And we, kids that aren't in church, we try and point them in the right direction, particularly churches that are, somewhere close to where they live. So we'll see what we can do about sending some this way. We'd love to. So thanks so much just for the chance to be here tonight and to share, and looking forward to our future.
Anyway, Bob will be around he's not going to rush out the back door. You don't have another appointment by any chance, do you?
Not until next Sunday.
Oh, okay. So he'll be here. If anybody wants to talk to him.
Sure.
If you've got questions that you weren't able to ask, he'll be here. But anyway, God bless you, and I appreciate what God has done.
Thank you.